Hopefully that gets you in the mood, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. We're doing something a little bit different. Yes, it's the evening of the game, and we're bringing to you the player ratings for today. We've got plenty to talk about in the week as it goes ahead, but we thought, do you know what? We're feeling a little bit good. We're feeling a little bit positive. So why don't we bring that to you this evening? Anyway, it's not just me. It's not just me on my own. It's Mr. Andy Miles. How you doing, mate? How you feeling? You've had a few hours to compute the result, a draw.
It feels like a win, man. It does feel like a win. And we could have won it, like I said when I come on earlier. But it's just great to have that relief. And when after the Newcastle game, if you said we'll get 4 points out of Fulham and Arsenal, I think anyone would have bit their hand off, to be perfectly honest. So.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. I mean, you said to me, I mean, I think every or West Ham fans who watch social media, who watch YouTube channels, you've had a good couple of hours of laughing at the old Arsenal channels, haven't you? Because they're all kind of imploding within themselves.
Yeah. And I've had a look at it back, and obviously I don't know whether you discussed it before I come on, but they're just saying, I never want to see Declan Rice in an Arsenal shirt. You've cost us the league. Other ones I've seen, I can't wait to play you next year to get you relegated. And it's like, it's one game. It's one game. And like, I just can't believe the reaction, to be perfectly honest. And they're saying it's corruption because we shouldn't have had the penalty. Declan Rice handball. And it's like, how bad can you go like with it? I don't think it was handball, me personally. I'm taking the West Ham hat off. Like,
Yeah. I think. Listen, you can look at it all day long, and do you know what? At the end of the day, Milesy, it's very rare that we get decisions that go our way. It really is. Like when you look at it, I know sometimes it does, but they say that all this stuff evens itself out somewhere along the line, and I feel like we're owed a bit more than what we got, even if today was a handball or not. I think we're owed still more from this whole crap decisions that go opposite teams' way. And I think wasn't that was one of the stats last year? Were we not one of the worst affected from the VAR system or something like that?
It was like 11 points or something. I think to do with decisions if VAR wasn't in play, but. It was just nice to have a drama-free game. If that makes, I know it had twists, but I'm glad VAR didn't cost it later on, just in a negative way. And I'm just buzzing, mate. And like your picture, what you had there of Bowen, and that I think it was Instagram. They obviously do it on Twitter. The reaction after Bowen scored that goal, Declan Rice, everyone, the interaction with the crowd, like I mentioned earlier, that team spirit. And you cannot deny that for today. You definitely cannot.
You're right, mate. And I think we said this earlier on when we done the review. And it's funny because when you do the reviews, you do the instant reviews, you get kind of lost within yourself, to be honest. You have to take a few minutes and moments and a few hours to compute what's actually gone on for you to actually make some sense of the situation. But what I did take from that was that you did see a clear message from the team, which was we're a unified bunch. That Rice has said that week in and week out. You know, he's confused at what's going on the pitch because off the pitch he feels that this bunch of lads are this unified bunch of lads. But we as fans maybe don't have and haven't seen it this year. And you know, I take a bit of responsibility on the West Ham Network, as we do, because we regularly do stories about, you know, if something pops up, we talk about it. What we do try to do, though, is dissect it and go, do we think there's any truth in it? But we still do report it as any person in the media outlets would do. But the situation is, mate, we've got a draw at home against a team that is pushing for the championship for the first time in many a year, when every single person nearly doubted us. That's what gives us the buzz.
It's not just that, mate. And this just reminded me of an Upton Park game, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like the way you come back, or the drama, the fortress of what Upton Park used to be. And we've not really had that at the London Stadium, where we've come back against a team of that stature. And the fact that we've done it and could have won it, I'm just buzzing, mate. I really am.
Absolutely. Just loads of people in the chat, even and all, from Richo, Buffalo Snowy, hi all. Howard Ailes is in it. Hope you're well, mate. Surreal Frame evening, guys. Jake is saying cracking game. Dean is saying it's a foul one. Listen, we'll come on to the scorings in a minute. Of course, well done to the under-18s for getting a championship. I thought we did mention that. Maybe we haven't, but if we haven't, then that's a ridiculous thing not to do, because hopefully I'll be coming down for the final. Bought myself a couple of tickets for that, so hopefully we'll be down for that. James Bong's in the house. Remember, this is an interactive player rating, so make sure you do get your scores in. I've got the first ratings up. It will be obviously Fabianski as we go along the show as well. Arsenal are the new Tottenham choke every season after Easter. And I think, do you know what? But before we do move into the ratings, Milesy, over the last couple of days, and in particular on Friday night, myself and Russ done a show about the mass exodus in the summer. And one of the players we spoke about was Declan Rice. And one of the points I made was that if Declan Rice is going to move, he's clearly stated that he wants to go to a club and win stuff. Now, Arsenal haven't shown any form of consistency yet.
Yeah.
Even if they do win something this year, i.e. the Premier League, that still doesn't guarantee that if Declan Rice moves there, that he then starts to solidify that chance of gaining medals and trophies. The only club right now in England doing that is Man City.
Yeah, 100%.
Do they need a Declan Rice? So you hear all these comments from Arsenal fans thinking the deal's done, the deal's done. I don't think the deal is done.
Do you know what? I can see him going abroad if he does go.
I would rather him go abroad, to be honest.
I think Bayern Munich or Real Madrid are the two for me, if he is. But you never know, mate. Like I said, this is not a Declan Rice show, but if David Moyes does leave in the summer, we get an ambitious manager come in, Declan Rice might want to give it another year. You never know. Yeah. You really don't know. So, but no, I'm as you said, it's a good time. We've not really had a good time as a West Ham fan this season, and the fact that we seem to be slowly turning the corner is definitely a positive.
It certainly is. Right, let me bring up the first rating of today, and this is all about this man, Fabianski, mate. Do you know what? He's maintained his position in the team to many fans' disappointment, and didn't really start off the game that well. I think he, with the first goal that crossed over the box, I don't know necessarily if it was just him to blame. I think there was a defensive error in there. But all in all, apart from really the first 15, 20 minutes, I don't really know what else he had to do in the whole game.
Yeah,
really, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm one of them ones who thinks that Areola should be number one. That's my opinion. I think it's just the way Fabianski is with regards to his distribution, etc. But you can't really fault him today, to be perfectly honest. Like you said, the first goal, he was actually more commanding of his box today than what he has been as well. So I don't know whether he's just realised he needs to step up. But if you're going to go, I'll probably give him a 7 because he didn't really do much wrong, but he didn't really have much to do. So you can't really lower him for that. That's my rating, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. No. Listen, I think I probably agree with you. I mean, I've personally gone in and given him a 6. I think it's a. It doesn't really matter. It's few and far between, really, when there's a 6 and a 7 involved. I think he was maybe at fault initially at the start, but grew into the game. I thought his distribution was okay. This is one of the big things we talk about when it comes to Fabianski, distribution. But I thought as the game went on, it grew, and he definitely got a lot better, a lot more confident. But he didn't really have a huge amount to do in the game, essentially, as well. So I've looked at the ratings. I've got the poll on the channel. 45% of you have given him a 7. So 47% of you have given him a 7. So they all agree with you, Milesy. There you go, mate.
Hey.
there's one for you, mate. Right, let's move on to Aaron Cresswell. I suppose this is an interesting one, mate, because for me, to be honest, I actually thought Emerson has actually had a good run in the team. And I don't really know if he necessarily was fairly rested or dropped. What's your thoughts?
I think he was rested for Thursday, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think I don't know if you look at who would you rather play against if you are Saka, Cresswell, or Emerson. I think he would pick Cresswell. That's the way you've got to see it from that front. But apart from the two goals where you can sort of blame Benny or you can blame Cresswell, I've seen like a mixed bag. He didn't really do anything else wrong. It's the same as Fab. So I'm probably going to be harsh and not harsh. I'm going to probably give him a 6.
Yeah. I mean, I think in general, after Emerson getting the run of games in the team, personally, I thought this could be our future left back. He's slotted into a back four reasonably well, and I thought this was it. This was his chance to shine. And I think when Cresswell was included back into the team, I think a lot of people had doubt, me included, to be honest. Yeah. I think in the first 10, 15 minutes, I don't really know any player that didn't really necessarily struggle in our team. I think most of them struggled in our team. However, he had some big interventions, I think, in the second half. And I think he dealt with everything really that came his way, and he worked well on the left-hand side. Sometimes Benrahma dropped back in to give him a bit of support as well. So put it in the comments and let me know your thoughts on the ratings for Mr. Aaron Cresswell. Milesy has gone for what did you give him again?
6, mate.
A 6, yeah. I agree with you on that. I've given him a 6 on there as well. I'm just waiting for the poll answers from everyone in the chat. We've got 33% on a 7, 33% on an 8, and 26% on a 6. Ooh. So it's a mark between a 7 and an 8, really.
Wow,
for that as well.
Yeah, but like you said, I think maybe I am being a bit critical, but like you said, I probably would give him an 8 if we took away the first 10, 15 minutes before the 2 goals, because apart from that, he isn't. But I've got to knock him off a couple for the 2 goals, so that's the reason why I've gone for a 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Peter Jones says he gets a 5, always playing the opponents on side. Yeah, a lot of people have always been concerned about that. I think that's potentially why he found himself getting sent off a little bit last year, especially in Europe, because that's what he was struggling with, wasn't it? The pace to deal with that. Barry says 7 for Cresswell for me. Didn't do anything amazing to stand out. I wanted Emerson on at half time. So there you go. And the poll, like I said, 7 and 8. So that's definitely an interesting one for us to go there. Right. Next up, mate. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Tilo Kehrer. He's been in for some harsh criticism, hasn't he, this season? What's your kind of general thoughts on him, mate?
I'm going to give him the same as the people who criticised Paqueta, the same people who organised when we got signed Pablo Fornals. You've got to give players time. You don't play for German national team if you're shit. Excuse my French, it is after 9 o'clock, actually. So
that's fine, no,
so you've got to give him that aspect. Like I mentioned earlier, when he seems to be coming in when others are injured. Playing on that other side, you asked John Terry, for example, if he had to play right centre-back, I think he would struggle as well, but going back in the day. So he done a very good, like there. He put his heart on his sleeve. When the first ball come over in the first few minutes and he just didn't clear hopeful, I thought we were going to be in for one of them afternoons. But I think him and Zouma actually done well together. But I'm going to give him a 7.
Yeah. Listen, I think he started off the season reasonably well. My biggest concern about Tilo Kehrer is he's played every position under the sun in our back line, hasn't he? He's played left back, right back, centre back of a 2.
Really, isn't it?
Yeah, very similar to Ben Johnson as well. He's played the back of centre back of a back 2. He's played the centre back on the right hand side of a back 3, and I think he's played centre back, right wing back. Yeah. I mean, he's literally played every position in the side, and that shows inconsistency will show up, and that's exactly what's happened with Ben Johnson as well. I think for the opening third, again, like everyone else in the team, it wasn't fantastic. There was definitely concerns there, but he did really well. And I don't know if you remember, there was one really, really nice spell in the game in particular, which probably brought to a head where West Ham were going in this game, where I think the ball started off with left back with Cresswell. He pinged the ball out, took a deflection, found its way to Kehrer. Literally the Kehrer of old would have panicked there, lost the ball, and Arsenal would have been in a
turn. Yeah.
Oh man, he done like a Cruyff turn of some sort, and he started off a really nice spell of play for West Ham. And that shows that, you're building a bit of confidence and you're feeling confident on the ball.
A lot of pace as well.
Yeah, the guy does. The geezer does, man. I rate him on his day. I think on his day, he's a very, very good footballer. But we just need that consistency, I suppose.
You don't play for PSG either, mate. I know they sold him, but you don't play for PSG if you're not that great either. So
what did you give him? What did you give him out of 10?
7.
A 7. Let's see what we get here. A 7 as well. I agree with you on that. James Bong has said he gets a 7. Garino says very solid. Got an assist. Yeah, he did. What was good about that was the fact that it was a big up and under. It was throwing the ball into the mix. They panicked when that happened, and that really shown when he just did that. He threw it in there, and that was the biggest thing there. Barry Clark gives him an 8, got an assist, and he played better on his games.
Probably one of his best games in the Southampton game as well, didn't he? From the free
absolutely.
Kick. Well,
yeah,
about that.
Yeah. Howard gives him an 8 as well. I was impressed by Kehrer, looked solid, especially when he was called up last minute. Peter Jones gives him an 8. Right, in the poll, 50% of people have given him a 7. So there we are. We're bang on. We're bang on with Tilo. So good on him. That's what he needed. The whole team needed it, but in particular, some of the players that haven't had the confidence as of late. Right, let's move into the man at the back, Kurt Zouma. Kurt Zouma, mate, had a few injuries this season, but he's been a bit of a brick wall as of late, hasn't he? So what's your thoughts on the old Zouma today?
I feel sorry for him as well, mate. When he sort of played like today, he's playing with different partners all the time and trying to get that understanding. But for me, I think our best partnership is him and Ogbonna. I think you've got that balance. If I'm being perfect, Aguerd, I think still needs a bit more time to settle in with him. But today, again, like you said, he was a brick wall, and you always feel a lot more relaxed when Kurt's at the back, and he obviously is a threat going forward as well, like in the opposition box. And I don't think many people like playing against him. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to give him a 7 as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. I think he definitely. Do you know what? That whole back line, and essentially up until recently, our defence was really never necessarily our big problem. It was just not put. And still, I know we're conceding goals just now, but we're still not putting the ball in the back of the net. I think Jared Bowen's goal today was one of the first in a while. I think was it not maybe Nottingham Forest that we've scored in open play for a while, and it was actually nice to see that. But it's nice to see Kurt Zouma kind of. Yeah, you're right, mate. He was imperious, solid. And he kind of shown up and shown his leadership value that came through as well. Made a few good blocks in the game that kind of put to bed any of the issues that Arsenal brought our way. Whack Ogov is giving Zouma a solid 7. James Bong is giving him an 8. Barry Clark is saying 8 for me. I want him to score again, and nearly did. Plus, he's pushing forward to help the midfield. Peter Jones gives him 8. So I am going to say, I mean, I've given him a 7, but again,
maybe a bit harsh. Do you think?
No, I think I am. I think what I try. This is what I try to do when I do my ratings. Right, I go. You start at 5, depending on how you play, and if you start off badly, which I think they all did. The first 10 minutes I had them all at 2. And then you had to work your way up.
Oh yeah, I do it the other way. I'll start off at 10 and then mark them off and work my way down
as they go down. So I drop them down and then I have to work them back up essentially. So I think there's a little different, not a huge difference between a 7 and an 8. So I can handle that. He's definitely not a 9. He's definitely not a 6. So we'll give him his dues there. Let's see what the West Ham chat have given him in the poll. 50% of people have given him a 7. 50% of people have given Zouma a 7. So let's move further along the field. This man, let's talk about Vlad, mate. I mean, listen, I've got the man's top there.
Yeah.
I was earlier in the season very harsh on the man. If I think back to the Everton game, I always talk about the Everton game, mate. When we played them and he struggled and he lost the ball a colossal amount of times, 30 odd times in that game. Jared Bowen had to drop back, support him. He's picked up a few injuries, but my word, man, the geezer has picked up form and shown us exactly what he's capable of doing, mate.
Yeah, no, I think he's not been right since that injury he picked up at Old Trafford. Do you remember when Matic kicked him?
Yeah.
He had that spell probably like 6 or 7 months. So, and then obviously we found out he was playing through with that heel injury, and it's like, what a warrior. Do you know what I mean? The fact that he wants to commit and keep playing. Don't get me wrong, he wasn't, but no, the last few weeks he's been outstanding. And mate, I've never realised what a weapon his throw is, man. What a weapon!
Where did that come from?
No, it's like
it was like a bullet. It was like a bullet. Yeah,
I think he's been watching Rory Galat.
Yeah, it wasn't even like an up and under. It was like straight through them, man.
No, he's unreal. He's unreal, and I've he's going to be a key part. If we keep him fit for the rest of the season, not just in the Premier League, in Europe, we'll go a long way. And I'm going to give him an 8. I think he kept Martinelli quiet for most of it. Look, you just see he's committed there. His understanding with Bowen is just second to none. And I think Bowen has that extra, because Bowen didn't really come back as much as what he used to, because he knew that Coufal will make a lot of the tackles. So yeah, I'm going to give him my first 8 of the day.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate. And I think there's actually quite a few 8s going to be kicking about in this stream. But I think Vlad is showing us again what he was brought in initially to do, and what he did do when he first came to the club, getting forward. Think back to the Fulham goal. When we scored against Fulham last week, like if it wasn't for his fight, determination to get forward and never give up attitude, like the ball would have just dwindled away. But he chased it down, and he's getting forward again, and he's getting back. And this is the Coufal that we brought in, and fingers crossed he's picked up a bit more confidence after his injury. James Bond gives him a 9. Garino has given him an 8, back to his best. Peter Jones has given him an 8 as well. Barry Clark says, wow, a 9 from me. Coufal is really doing well when his head's in it. Whack old Gov is saying back to his best, and he gets a 9 from him. You've given him a cheeky 8. I'm going to change mine. I feel bad, mate. I feel bad. I do feel bad, and I think this could be a little cheeky mistake from me, but just put a little cheeky. What you should do is put a little cheeky circle at the top and a little cheeky circle at the bottom, half circle at the bottom, make that an 8. That's a harsh score from me. Yeah. 50% of the people in the chat say an 8 for Vlad. 34% of people say a 9 for him as well. So there you go, mate. I got that one hell of I got that one wrong, didn't I? Right, let's move into Tommy Soucek, mate. Really been the brunt of many West Ham fans this season.
Me included. I'm putting my hand up. Me included.
I'll do it as well. But an interesting stat for you is he made just 2 passes in the first half of this game.
Yeah,
just 2 passes in the first half of this game. And to be honest, when you look at his game stats, game by game, especially over the last month or two, they have been reasonably similar. He's been playing in a position that we know he's not really designed to do. So essentially, that's not his fault. But he's ineffective, and we still can only rate what we've got in front of us.
It's a tough one, man. I do feel sorry for him. I really do. And I think a few people have said it. I would just love for him to have a couple of games off, just to get his confidence, like just being around the squad still, having that rest, because he plays a lot of football. He plays for his international side all the time as well. So he doesn't really get a rest. And with regards to today, in the second half, he was a warrior. He was commanding both boxes. I'm not going to be too hard, but I'm going to give him a 6. I think he's right. a lot better than what he has been.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he has been in for quite a bit of criticism again. Like I said, I'll say it again. He's had to play out of position a lot this season. I mean, I've joined you with that. I've given him a 6 as well. But he did. I thought he improved in the second half. I think when he did touch the ball, he did break up play. I think he made a couple of, not many, but a couple of very good tackles, intercepting tackles as well. He didn't have an influential, the
last few weeks, mate. Yeah, I think when he gets the ball, he wanted to get rid of it, but today he held on it for a lot longer and thought about the pass before doing it. So I think that might be and the fact that he didn't play on Thursday as well, so he's had eight days or whatever it was, to maybe that. And I don't think he'll play on Thursday, so hopefully we can have him. He'll probably play on Bournemouth next week. So.
Yeah. Peter Jones has given him a 7. Garino Soucek gave him a 7 for second half performance. Tommy Soucek 8 does stuff in the general dog's body's position that people just don't understand. I do think there's an element of truth in that. I do think that he does all the crap, apart from when he plays in that 10 role, because you can't stand up for his performance against Fulham. You can't stand up for his performance against Southampton. You can't stand up for his performances in those games. Today, there's an element where you could maybe battle to say that in the second half, he gave us some fight, some determination, some authority to Paqueta and Declan Rice to do what they do. They probably felt a bit more comfortable knowing that he was behind that, the hole there too.
I think he was there just for his height and strength today, because Odegaard, Partey and Xhaka are horrible. They're like they're like Yorkshire Terriers. They're like Rice and Paqueta. So I think he was there to just to mop it up. But like I said, I might be being a bit harsh, but like you said, it's a tough one. It is tough.
Yeah, it is tough. 60% of people in the poll have given him a 7. So people have given him a bit higher score than what me and you have. 28% have given him a 6. 11% have given him an 8. But I mean, it was a much improved performance in the second half, and I think playing him in that kind of deeper role definitely helped the likes of the next man, one of the next men that we're going to talk about now, and that is the captain, Declan Rice. Mate, we had a little conversation about him at the start of the stream, but what was your thoughts on Deckers today?
You could just tell he was up for this game in the first couple of minutes when he was putting them tackles in. I was like, this is Declan of old. And I think that got the crowd up. And even when we went 2-0 down, the crowd, I heard a few boos like in around the 20th minute. But apart from that, and I think he was the key to that, his passing is just unreal. And it's just come a little bit too late. Maybe if it happened like a month ago, that understanding he's got with Paqueta is just unreal.
It's phenomenal, isn't it?
Whenever he's got the ball, that's the first thing he does. He looks for Paqueta or Benrahma, and that's what you can't. And he won the battle in the midfield. He beat Odegaard. He beat Partey, and he beat Xhaka today. Another solid, and this is probably his average. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought it was outstanding.
Yeah. And that's the funny thing, when you get a player like Declan Rice, 9 times out of 10, I mean, I think, was it against Fulham? I rated him reasonably low, and that's very rare that you get him below a 7. Even below a 7, like he has to play pretty shit to get a 7. And today I thought he done. I think you're right, mate. I think if you were watching the other players that we're going to talk about in a minute, you maybe forget about the stuff that Declan Rice did today, but he was so effective on the park. I've given a couple of gold numbers today. So my couple of man of the matches, there's actually a few I really struggle to define between a few of them. I know you put Coufal up there as well, and I've not as much, but for me, I agree with you, mate. Declan Rice walks away with an 8 today, because I think his performance all round was a captain's performance today. And like you said, it might be a little bit late, but it's better late than never. I suppose.
And it's not so much that. I think he just calms the situation down, and his range of passing goes very underrated. The switch of play, what Deck can do as well. And I just wish we would I think it's just confidence as well. But Deck can easily pick it out. Sometimes we just need to be on the back. As soon as he picks it up in the middle of our half, a couple of people just need to be on their bike, because he'll pick them out, like a Mickey or Bowen. And I think we will see a very good last end of the season.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, no, I think I do agree with you. Touchwood. Barry says he gets. Oh God, where's that comment gone? It's a strong 9 for me. He plays with pride and is so vital for us all over the pitch. James Bond gives him an 8. The Kaiser's love child. Whackgov Rice think he guaranteed his place at Arsenal. Best midfielder on the pitch. Bittersweet performance from Rice. Feels like it was just auditioning for the summer. I don't know, mate. I don't see that. I think
I think a lot of people have overreacted, because Declan does it to all of the managers. The other, they saw him giving a big, he's not going to shake the opposition manager's hand, and I think Arsenal were getting a bit excited about it as well. So what? He shook his hand. Big deal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right, mate. You're right. Everyone in the chat has voted on the poll. 42% split, giving him an 8, and 42% of people have given him a 9. So it's a split decision on Deckers today as well. But either way, he's given us a top-notch performance again in another West Ham shirt. Let's move on to the Pac-Man, Lucas Paqueta, mate. I mean, I can tell by your reaction, you're excited to talk about this geezer.
Mate, he is absolutely world class. I really don't understand where people say he's a waste of money. He's just so calm. And I don't know about you, Anton, but a left footer just makes it look more sexier when they do stuff as well. I don't know what it is, the way they play, but he's just a warrior. He gets stuck in. He's up and down, and I love that. He was even so annoyed that he was getting substituted. I know it was late on. He was like, "Why are you bringing me off?" I love that in a player. I really do. I really do love it. And a couple of times he's not had the performances, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's moving over to a new league, and he was the difference on Thursday as well. He is just world class, and I'm saving my 2 high marks for other players, but I'm going to give him an 8 like Deck.
Yeah. I mean, he's not started in the last 2 matches, but he was back in the starting side as well. And there was, there's many other Brazilians on show for the opposition today. But I think he's shown through. He had clever flicks, passing, and good improvisation. I thought a lot during this game, and he looked like he was always going to be among those who had the capacity to get West Ham back in the game. His forward thinking, he just constantly thinks forward. People dig him out because he loses the ball, but he's a forward thinking player, and you get those players that do that as well. That's what you need. You need those players to forward think at the same time as him. But he's always looking lively, and he's very good at keeping the ball, and he doesn't mind getting stuck in. And that's one of the things I love about this geezer. He has no problem getting his hands dirty with the game. That's why I agree with you, mate. I've given him an 8. I've given him a kind of gold, yellow 8 as well. Another one of the star men for me. I thought it was a fantastic performance from him. Let's see what everyone else in the chat has to say about Pac-Man. Let's see. So what's this one here? Hold on, before we go on there. Saw a comment on the FTV that Rice would be back up to party. What happened today? Yeah, okay, Garino. That's a mental one. Like, Paqueta was very busy helping control the midfield. Garino says Paqueta 9 guys class, yet some people still slate him. I think essentially we're always going to get people that disagree on certain players. You either like him or you don't. I think when we spend that amount of money, you expect instant success to the next level, and sometimes it doesn't work. Lucas Paqueta created 67% of West Ham's chances against Ghent, 2 out of 3. He also made 50% of West Ham's key passes, and he played 16 minutes. Paqueta 9, genius with steel. Paqueta top level today, 9, and man of the match for me. Barry Clark says 9 for me would be a 10 if he had scored. I love the way he is, always going for the ball and setting some good runs. Peter Jones gives him a 9. 52% of the poll have given him an 8. 38% of people have given him a 9, so you can see it's very split there. Even a couple of people have even gone higher. So wow. a lot of Paqueta love. A lot of Paqueta love there. A lot of Paqueta love. Right.
Mate, you see what he does for Brazil as well. It's unreal. It's unreal. It's amazing to see.
No, you're right, mate. You're right. Let's get on to this man, Said Benrahma. Again, probably still splits the fan base in terms of his all-round performance in a game. Yeah. What's your thoughts on Benny?
Me personally, I'd love to see him in the 10. That's where I want to see him. I want to see him there, mate. I think he'll be. I think he played a few games there for Brentford, and I saw it. I think remember the playoff game going back to the playoff final when he ripped Fulham to shreds in the. But today, he's getting a couple of marks knocked down because I think he was sleeping for the first. Not saying that's his job, but a couple of times he could have got back and helped Cresswell out, but he did. After that, he learnt his lesson. But I think that's the picture there. That ball, what he provided for Mickey was on his weak peg. He just whipped it across. Yeah. Obviously, taking the penalty as well. Takes some bottle. And he normally goes that left side, and Ramsdale thought he had him. And then he gave him the eyes and slotted it in the other corner. So I'm still going to be quite harsh on him. I'm going to give him a 7, though. I'm not giving him an 8. I don't think he's the Kehrer or Rice level.
No, I know. It's funny that you say that because I think he can be if he plays in that number 10 role. I think he's got so much potential there. And I think that would be... This kind of reminds me of... We've got a player in our midst that, for some reason... it was like Felipe Anderson, for example. I think the best success he had at West Ham was playing through the middle. When he was playing out wide, it was kind of wasted, to be honest. And I think they were just constantly trying to do it because they thought at Lazio and Serie A, that's what he did. So therefore, when he comes to West Ham, that's what he should do. We hit that lovely spell at Christmas time where Felipe Anderson played through the middle. Bang, we were getting Chicharito supported. A couple of them.
Do you remember Southampton when he ripped Southampton apart?
Absolutely, mate. And then we done Newcastle away, which we never do very rarely. 3-0, Felipe Anderson and Chicharito. So it was a no-brainer. So Benrahma kind of reminds me like that. And I think that Benrahma assist today was prime Benrahma. He gets the ball, he tries to cross it in, and it hits the first man. So his delivery was crap, but he had the fight and determination to go win that same ball back, and he did. And I've got to give him massive credit for it. I remember doing the watch along, and I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, Benny, you've done it again!" But then instantly, I was like, "Oh God, he's won the ball back! Oh, look at that ball!" Do you know what I mean? And he caused them problems. And when he can get those balls delivered, oh my God, man, they're beautiful balls, and he's really effective. And plus, his penalty taking is just phenomenal. I don't even know what number of goals he's on. I don't know what that is him for the season.
No, he's and Is it still Ramadan as well? I think it is, isn't it? I think it's still Ramadan.
Is it still? Yeah.
No, I'm not too sure. So I'm going to give him a lot of. I'm not saying that he's. Obviously there's a few who are still doing it. So obviously that it was quite hot today as well. But no, he's outstanding. And like you said, I would love to see either Downs, Rice, and Paqueta, but as the three. But Paqueta, Benrahma, and Rice in the middle, that could be a bit tasty as well.
Could you imagine? I've given him a 7 with you, mate. I agree. 62% of people in the chat have given him a 7. 17% of people have given him an 8. 13% of people have given him a 9. I think the 13% who have given him a 9 are our Algerian followers on the channel. So I much appreciate it. But listen, we're not against him, mate. We're not against him. We're not against him at all. We love the geezer and we just want him to, give us the best. And we know he's got. Do you know what the thing is, mate? We know he's got more. We still know he's got more. And that's kind of exciting, I suppose you could say.
And I think I don't know whether it's a confidence thing, but he sort of lost a bit of his trickery. Yeah. Like I don't know whether it's confidence when he the start of the season, especially last season. So hopefully, if he gets that back as well, you never know. But no, fair play to Benny.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, let's move on to Jarrod Bowen, goal scorer again today. What's your thoughts on his performance?
Mate, the last if we weren't in our side the last few weeks, we wouldn't be where we are. He's outstanding. That he just proves how much it means to him. He's embedded in the West Ham family very well, and it's just what he does off the ball as well. The runs, what he makes, the tackling, world class. And I'm giving him a 9. And the finish was breathtaking. To take the initiative of moving it from there was 9 for me.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I mean, I've not given him a 9. I'm not even going to tell you what I've rated him. I don't even know if I want to bring it up. Actually, I feel quite embarrassed. I don't know what I've done. I thought I was being quite clever with this, but nah, not for me. I've done it wrong. I'm actually not going to bring it up. But get your ratings in for him. I think I meant to put an 8, but I probably agree with you, mate. I think he does go up there. I was really impressed with his tracking back and getting stuck in. At some points when I was doing the show, I was like, oh, there's Bowen back again. Oh, there's Bowen back again. But sometimes it's good when you win the ball. It's what you do with that ball when you win it back. And he kept finding his teammates, which is really key. Sometimes, you do all the hard work and bang, suddenly you lose the ball again. And that's the kind of West Ham of this season. But we were not doing that today. So
it was a good battle to see him versus Tierney, to be honest. It was a good battle to watch.
Mate, absolutely. It really was. But really good. And do you know what? Like you said, mate, in recent weeks, we've been really imperative that he's been in the team and been vital for West Ham moving forward, hitting form at the right time. Just all we need to do now, if we stay up, next season, consistently keep that form. But I think with the right...
Do you know what? I would love to convert. I know it's a typical. I would love to convert him as a number 9. I think he would be brilliant.
Yeah,
I'll take him away from that winger. If we can get a decent winger, I'd even put him through the middle because I think he'll be as effective as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Bowen tore Arsenal, a new one today from Guarino. Andy says outperformed Saka today, an 8 from me. The best. Lawrence is in from Lexington, Kentucky. Hope you're well, mate. Bowen back from last season form, great finish, 9. Peter Jones gives him a 9. Helen Ludders gives him a never stopped all game, was completely shattered after 75 minutes. Lawrence gives him a 9. Garrido says quite funny that some Arsenal fans thought we cheated today for our penalty. Oh, the irony, absolutely. I can't pronounce your name, mate, so apologies, but 9 for Bowen. Barry Clark says 10 out of 10 for me. Didn't stop today and scored a banger. He's a blinding player, played better than Saka as well. Matt Clark gives 9 for Bowen. When we stay up, Anton. Yeah. Did I say if or did I say when? I'm going to agree with you, John. I'm going to start saying when.
I said it earlier. This point today, pretty much. I'm not saying, I'm saying I'm probably 75% sure we're staying up now. I was probably 50-50 before Fulham last week.
Well, 54% of people have given Bowen a 9 in the chat.
Wow.
45% of people have given him an 8. The thing is, I didn't even put a 10 in there because I didn't think anyone was going to get a 10 today, but there's quite a few in the chat that have awarded him a 10 as well. So that makes for interesting meetings. Scarborough says, it seems like the squad have had a clear the air meeting with Moyes after the Ghent game, and it really showed with the attitude of the players. on the pitch, massive for our confidence. So yeah, I totally agree with that as well. Lawrence, appreciated that, mate. $10 super sticker. Thank you very much. It's definitely appreciated. Right, let's move on to the last man, and it is this man, Antonio. Again, he's been up for quite a little bit of criticism this season. The first question I want to ask you, and I know it's a bit of a random one, what's your thoughts on the podcast, mate?
No, not for me.
Nah, same as me.
No, I just don't understand it. I really don't. Like, at the end of the season, I understand, or at the start of the season, or like when there's, I understand it. But yeah, I just don't get it. I really don't. And he's not put himself into glory with comments. Not what he's only said on the podcast, but what he said elsewhere. So yeah, not for me. Not for me.
Right, what do you think of his performance today? Obviously, West Ham's struggling now. Well, not struggling, but we've been struggling for goals this season. Scamacca out injured, has got his operation done. We've brought in Danny Ings into the mix. You've got Divine Mbama sitting on the bench. Sitting well, sometimes on the bench, but not today. But a performance to be proud of today.
Yeah, mate. He was like I said earlier. His penalty was very harsh. I can't understand why that was given, to be perfectly honest, and justice that Saka missed it. But what he done today, he bullied Holding. Holding just, he just. Do you know what? A couple of times this season, I've seen him and I'm like, he's lost a lot of his pace. But today, he just had like, I don't know what he had for breakfast, but he was just like an animal. And they couldn't deal with him. And that doing that position up front on your own is a very hard job. And when he's on it, he makes it look very easy and very unlucky with the goal. And it's the same for Bowen for me, mate. I'm going to give him a 9. I thought it was absolutely outstanding.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've probably been reasonably harsh on some of the results tonight. I mean, I'll just quickly throw you in what I've given him. I gave him an 8, but I probably should have put a little gold yellow 8 on him because I thought he had a phenomenal performance, mate. You're right. You know, playing that solo striker position, you're on your own is a tough role. What I get confused about is, from a coach's point of view, is when he does drift out wide, he's so effective. Like, he gets that ball. I think at one point today, he carried that ball for 60 to 70 yards up the left-hand side, and nobody could get near him. But the player initially was beside him, but he just went, do you know what? I'm gonna kick the ball forward. I'm gonna boss you off that ball, and I'm gonna get to it first. And he actually made a good bit of play in that spell. He did it against. This was the thing about the Newcastle game. He did it against Newcastle, and he caused Burn shitloads of problems when he was doing it. Apart from the 4 individual errors that we had in that game, he was causing teams problems. So for me, there's still a life of Antonio at West Ham. It's just about utilising him in the right position, in the right place, at the right time. And I think he's still got... he could end his career at the club if he was to be utilised and played right. And I do think under the right coach, that would happen. And I think he would love life at West Ham, and he wouldn't potentially feel disloved, you know?
Yeah, no, I think next season, what I would love is for him to be an impact sub last 15, 20 minutes. I don't think he should be a starter. I think we need to get that extra quality. But like today, he's proved it. But I would love him 15, 20 minutes. Defenders are a little bit tired. Put him out on the wing. The defenders are not one of chase Mickey Antonio, especially after being tired. But no, if he keeps off his podcast and keep his head down, like you said, mate, he could be here for another couple of years. But for me, I think we need to get another quality striker, and then maybe,
Absolutely.
like you said, convert him to a winger again.
Yeah.
He can play left or right. He's proved it. He can play either.
Yeah.
So,
no, you're right. Definitely.
Or even he can convert to the right wing back position. If we next season we go to a 3 at the back, I wouldn't mind seeing him on a wing back position as well.
Yeah. I think, it's just another option for us, and I think he's got the ability to do it. But essentially, I just don't want to be reliant on him moving forward.
No,
we can't, because that changes the dynamics of what we do. Graham Lindsay says, if we played with this conviction all season, we wouldn't be worrying the way we've been with Moyes out. Yeah, no, you're right, probably. Yeah, Greeno 8, Antonio 9, best game this season. Graham Lindsay gives him an 8. James Bong says Antonio 10, man of the match. Lawrence, this comment, James, is a prime example. When we've been doing this show just tonight for the past 45 minutes, we've got something like 5 man of the matches. It's a really tough one to choose from today. Really is a tough one to choose. Lawrence has said 8, solid match for Antonio. Scarborough, that's a good point, makes sense. Antonio 9, best performance for a year. Peter Jones gives him an 8. Antonio play nice with side Benrahma. Antonio was like a new signing today, 8. His best for us today this season, absolutely bullied. Holding and Alice Band holding and terrorized Gabriel. Solid 7.
I said that earlier, didn't I, on the show when I come on before? I love that battle with him and Gabriel.
Yeah,
that was a proper battle.
Old school.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Antonio was immense today. Arsenal couldn't handle him. Deserved to score 9. Yeah, I mean, listen, mate. Imagine that shot, that header went in. Like that place would have erupted. It would have erupted. Yeah. We would have erupted at home, and shit, man, we'd be sitting here with 3 points. Like, so unfortunate. But you know what? He was there at the right place at the right time, and he was under a bit of pressure. 2 big centre halves in front of him, and I thought it took a touch off one of the players that went out for a corner, but it didn't. He was just unlucky not to actually. Yeah.
No, definitely, man. Like I said, it does feel like a win, and it's the relief, and this will take us into Thursday and Sunday, definitely.
Yeah, no, you're right. Trini Hammer's comments are called the truth, unlike a lot of scripted answers you get from a lot of elite sports people. I do agree with you, Trini, but I think there's a time and a place when you do something like the podcast. I think it kind of brings maybe unwanted necessarily attention to us. You know, I've seen some of the clips this week from Callum Wilson and him having a bit of banter about being the daddy, who's the daddy manager and all that sort of stuff. And you know, you can end up saying something, and I don't know if it's the right timing for it. But like you said, Miles, it could be the summer. Matt Clark says Antonio 9 worked tirelessly on his own all day, 2 against 2 centre backs. Sorry, need to upgrade to an 8 today. 9 was really good. Just didn't score from Barry. Joe says, true, Anton, that run was amazing, like the old Antonio. Imagine if Antonio could finish Lawrence. Whoever votes him a 6 is clueless. I'll let you know what everyone's voted for. 52% of people have given him an 8. 27% of people have given him a 9. Papa first in the house, good to see you, mate. That is what we wanted to see. It certainly did. Epic catch time. Antonio is going to be even slower next season. Dividend Dave, wow, that was more like it West Ham of last season. Far more optimistic tonight. Come on, you Irons. Epic catch time. We tend to hold on to old players until they are useless. Yeah, you're right. Actually, we do. We have that. We have that skill set. Antonio isn't that slow. Faster than Ings. To be fair, I think I'm faster than Ings as well. No disrespect to him, but I think I am.
I think I've got a better hairline than him as well.
I want to see Antonio and Corney up front together. Yeah, good shout. And when Antonio has a good game, the whole system works. I struggle to see anybody replacing him with his play style. You're right, though, but when Antonio has a crap game, the whole system falls apart. That's the problem. That's the problem, isn't it? Just Matt, Antonio Bowen, Coufal share man of the match. Paul Evans says, how good would he be on the wing with Ings as striker? Papa First says, Gabriel looked terrorised the entire game. Coufal, Paqueta, Bowen, man of the match. Coufal and Bowen for me, but well done to all. Ludder says, whatever they all had on their pre-match lunch, make sure they have it on Thursday. Yeah, there you go. So that's our player ratings, mate. I mean, I'm not gonna mark the subs. I don't think that's right. They didn't have enough game time. Essentially, how do you sum up the victory today, though?
Draw today.
The draw. Sorry.
no, it was amazing, mate. Like I said, if you offered me a draw, the last couple of days I was thinking of a draw, and the fact that it's come out now, the result, that gap is slowly starting to get bigger between the bottom and the bottom sides, and obviously Man United doing us a favour earlier as well. But a lot of sides have still got to play each other, and I know Bournemouth got the result at Tottenham yesterday, but I feel really confident on Sunday. If we get another draw out of that 32 points we'll be on. I think, like I said, at the minute I'm 75% safe, and I just hope we have the same performance on Thursday and get through.
I know I'm going to jump ahead past Thursday. Thursday's massive for us, obviously, to get to a semi-final. I mean,
okay, I'm going to ask you this question. I asked people in the group, would you take a victory on Thursday or a victory at Bournemouth on Sunday if you had to pick one?
Oh, shit.
Everyone in the chat as well.
That's a good question. That's a very good question. So the question Miles has asked us is, would you take a victory against Ghent or a victory against Bournemouth? I'll give you my answer. I take a victory against Ghent.
Yeah, I'll take a draw next Sunday.
I take a draw next Sunday. I don't want to lose against Bournemouth, but I want to win something as a West Ham fan. We need to win something, mate.
I was the same as you.
You know, we're part of the same era that's not physically saw us win anything apart from the Intertoto Cup.
And the Youth Cup.
And the Youth Cup.
And this one as well.
I don't play this one as well. And a playoff final, you know, as well. Yeah. So I saw a couple of them. But essentially, yeah, because I still think we've got enough in our tank to go ahead and get something from the last few games. I really do. I know it can switch. I know it can change up. But yeah, that's a fucking great question. That is a great question, Miles. Isn't it?
No, I'm the same. I'll Ghent to win, and then I'll take a draw. We've got a tough game going forward. Palace Palace at home is going to be a tough. Palace away, sorry, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, no, absolutely. People want me to. I'm going to put this one up, and I'll ask you this one, and I'll jump through the comments, and then we'll close off the show. Right, rate Moyes. Hey, boys, today, rate Moyes.
I'm going to give him a 7.
Right.
I'm not going to lie. I wasn't impressed with the team selection, i.e. Soucek, i.e. Cresswell, but he's proved me wrong. He made the subs at the right time. He done. I'll give him credit when I give him when we get that. But just a few of his comments, like I don't know if you saw the one pre-match. They went I'm not worrying about Arsenal. I'm worrying about West Ham, and it's like you've got Mikel Arteta really praised us. And then you hear more. It might just be the old school managers, but I didn't really like that comment. I know you say you shouldn't worry about the opposition, but I reckon he's just too stubborn on one aspect. I'll give him a 7.
Yeah, absolutely. James Bond gives him a 9. Howard Ailes gives him a 7. Lawrence gives him a 7. Let me just see what everyone else is doing. There's so many other comments I want to jump through before we do the other ones. Deborah and Dave Moyes today, 7 season 2. Right, let me jump on to the answer of your question that everyone else has said. Let me just quickly jump onto this one. Papa Firth, everyone 8 and above from me. Paqueta was great. Antonio was a beast we know and love. Bowen was amazing. Hard to pick man of the match for me. Loved it. Feel positive with that performance. Absolutely. Agree with you 100%. Ludder says, annoyed that Moyes left the subs too long. They were knackered and could see we all needed subs on. Andy says, after 10 minutes, it was despair. The final 80 left me buzzing, still buzzing, even though we didn't win. Victory on Sunday. There we go. They want a victory on Sunday. Lawrence would take that one. Richard is saying Thursday all day long. Good to see you, Richard, mate. A victory on Thursday. Eric John as well. Foshi's is in the house. What a fantastic performance from the lads. Hammer time at last. Devin and Dave thought we would have been smashed today. Definitely feels like a win. Bournemouth for me. Chris Nix is Thursday. Epic hashtag, we're not winning the Conference League, so I'll focus on the league. Come on, Epic. Thursday, and we'll do Man City instead.
Well, I said that earlier. I don't think we'll do Man City. I just hope they don't smash our goal difference. I'm being honest. Going to the Etihad's tough.
Yeah,
the Etihad's tough. But I think what we're on -13 our goal difference compared to others. It's still the best I think down there. So
well, us and Leeds, I think us and Leeds are on the same.
Liverpool tomorrow, so hopefully Liverpool do us a favour.
Yeah. Well, Thursday Bournemouth can be made up. Draw Thursday with win extra time and 3 points Sunday. Yeah, I know, but we had to pick and choose. We can do both. Victory from Martin against Bournemouth from me. We'd have plenty of matches to get to safety. Let's win against Ghent. We've got to turn up every game from Barry. We can't get comfortable. Beat Ghent. There's plenty of points available in the league. Richard says relegate us with a European trophy all day long. Well, we're not saying relegate us. We're saying just don't win against Bournemouth. But I get your sentiment.
But would you? That's the question. Would you take the Conference League and get relegated? I don't think I could. As much as I'd love to us to win a trophy, I don't think I could. But saying that, you will go and see different grounds in the Championship instead of the same.
But we've been there, done that, wore the T-shirt, and I get that. I get what people say about the old Championship thing, but it's just not for me, man. You want to be at the top level, and Rich, I get that, but I don't get it at the same time. So no, I don't want us to get relegated and win that. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Nah. Moyes, we've done that one. Screw this week. European competition, Premier League more important to me. Draw the conference game, win on penalties, and beat Bournemouth. Best of both. That's true. Foles giving you a roundabout way. He's worked his way around.
Oh, no, us the right answer. No, I ain't seen you for ages. I hope you're doing well, mate. I knew there'd be a sarky comment.
He's a lovely guy. Credit where it's due. I'll say 7. Put the subs on till late. This is in regards to Moyes. Moyes, well deserved 7. 5 from me. Still done with him. 6, still don't think today was down to him. Moyes was a bit late with the subs. 8 proves he's still got the team playing for him. Got so many comments.
I don't think they're playing for him though. I think they're playing as a team, personally.
Yeah. No, I know. Interesting comment further down. We'll jump onto it. Listen, big fella. I thought Arsenal were going to smash a goal difference if we turn up like today. Then why not? Premier League at all costs. We'll stay up and win the cup. Now, guys, let's stop this silly bollocks chat. Richard Dodds, boys, you'll never see a trophy again in your life. This is our best chance. I don't care what it takes, giving the trophy all day long. I get that.
I do actually get it.
I do, but I don't know. It's a tough one, man. Maybe we'd have that debate. Maybe we need to come on again and have another debate. We could go on all night about that.
No, you know what? I agree with Dobbsy. I agree. Yeah. I think I would. I
need to take time to think about it. I can't commit.
And we'll play 46 games in the Championship and plus 6 in the Europa League as well, at least. So I don't know how many games we'll be playing next year.
Doddsy, I'm trying to do the stats, before you die. But you've had one. You've had one with that age. You've had one. But I get that, though. You know, the thing is, yeah.
That is a debate. That is a good debate question.
Yeah. But I think it's a really good debate question. I think, but the thing with Doddsy is, you know, again, with respect to your age, 57, you saw us win something, whether you were there. I'm not sure if you were there physically or not. But you know, I listened. You're right. I mean, I listened to the stories of my dad telling me, you know, a very successful West Ham fan watching us win the 3 FA Cups and the European Cup Winners' Cup. Like he was like, and being there, and for him to constantly. And he doesn't do it in a negative manner, but ram it down the throat in a positive manner. And all I've got to show is the playoff final, and it's tough. And I just do want to win us something, but I don't know if I want it to the detriment of being relegated.
Yeah, but it is a European trophy, though. It's not just like the FA Cup or the league. No, I agree with Dobbsley. I'll take the Conference League.
Is it extra time on Thursday or straight to pens? Yeah, I think it's extra time.
Yeah.
We will win the Conference Cup and finish above Chelsea. Would Birmingham swap their cup for being in the Premier League? I don't think they would. God,
that was all over the show. That was the league. That was the League Cup, though, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Wigan done the FA Cup and got relegated, didn't they?
Yeah. Look where they are now.
Yeah.
Right, everyone. You what?
Look where Portsmouth are now.
I know, mate. I know. Fans have got memories, though. Memories of League 2. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you're new around here, please hit the subscribe button. Thanks to Milesy for joining us, mate. It's been a pleasure having you back on the channel again. Listen, Milesy was on with us when we done the Soccer Saturday in aid of Iron Supporting Food Banks, and I was a mixture of tired, but I was also I was crying from laughter. I could not handle the situation that was going on with Rio.
And it's me just like jumping up and down and everything.
Oh, mate, I know. But yeah, anyway, listen, thanks for joining us. It feels it's more positive, so take the positive. Go and enjoy Match of the Day. It's the first time we'll be able to enjoy Match of the Day for a little while. It's been a pleasure. Join us tomorrow. We'll give you some more of the content and the fallout or the positive from the situation, which is today against Arsenal. Take it easy and come on, you Irons.